Moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're viewing us here live in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. Yes, I'm one of your favorite youth hosts, just one of them. And we are just returning here on Youth Wednesdays to bring you the youthful vigor, the youthful vibe, smack center in the middle of your busy, wet week. And, the weather has been quite bipolar, but I know you aren't this morning. And a special shout out to all our ardent viewers, wherever you're viewing us in the world, on the island, in Trinidad, in the region. Good morning to you. This morning, I'm joined by a very, very, very special guest. Should I introduce her name? Sorry, a special host, another favorite youth host. She hasn't been here for not even a minute, but she's your favorite. Good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
For the purpose of our viewership, just tell them who you are now.
Good morning, viewers. My name is Jolie St. John.
Jolie St. John, welcome to Tobago Update, and especially the Youth Wednesday team.
Yes, Youth Wednesday.
It's a pleasure to have more youth like yourself joining us. So guys, we have a packed day for you, and just a reminder for those of you who are viewing us on our varying platforms, whether it be on Flow, AMPLIA, Digicel, iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, whatever device you're viewing us on, a special good morning to you. As we wrap up the best month of the year, March, we want to I'm getting consensus here from my co-host that this is indeed the best month of the year. Right? So did you celebrate a birthday in this month?
No, I didn't, but I was agreeing because I know you celebrated a birthday recently.
Oh, that is so nice of you. So nice of you. Right, so guys, we're gonna go straight over to news in 90 seconds with Miss St. John.
Thank you, Dwayne. This is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. Tobago is officially the starting block for the international freestyle diving season. The Division of Tourism has announced that the island will host the opening event of the 2026 Dodds Diving League World Tour on May 23rd. Following last year's successful World Championship, the elite competition returns to the iconic cliffs of Pirates Bay. Officials say the event further solidifies Tobago as a premier global destination for extreme sports and ecotourism. History is on the table at the Assembly Legislature today. During the third plenary sitting, Secretary Darren Henry is moving a motion to officially declare April 30th as Mainridge Day. The move seeks to institutionalize the 250th anniversary of the 1776 legislation that made Tobago home to the oldest protected rainforest in the Western Hemisphere. If passed, the resolution will mandate a suite of activities to promote environmental stewardship and climate resilience across the island. In development news, the Division of Housing has announced a major sanitation of its application database to address a massive applicant backlog of 8,000 to 10,000 files, with the first 100 housing units expected to be ready by this Christmas. Finally, a reminder for SCA parents. While regular school meals concluded last week Friday, the division confirms a special meal will be provided to all students sitting the exam tomorrow, Thursday, March 26th. That was your news in 90 seconds. Tune in again at 6:30 p.m. for our full newscast.
Thank you very much, Ms. St. John, for news in 90 seconds. Again, I must welcome you to Tobago Updates. It's a good thing to have energetic young people.
Youth in news.
But a lot has been happening in this space.
It has.
Globally, regionally, locally. I recall a particular comment, politically now, we are the political player, where the former Prime Minister would have made a particular comment about the current Prime Minister.
Yes.
And I saw her response was, she said, unfortunately, when I when these comments are made against me, you know, they're of the view that they don't bother me, but I'm just here to confirm that I'm very, very unbothered. I just find it was very funny.
Yes.
But
it is very refreshing to see that our headlines this week are more on a positive note, signaling developments and opportunities for the island.
Yes, you know, and the dust diving does introduce, you know, something that has not been really explored for years, which is sport tourism, sport/adventure tourism. You know, and it puts the island in a back on the map.
Yes.
You know, from yesteryear, but you know, it's a good opportunity. Last weekend I attended the Glamorgan Regatta, and I also saw an opportunity where, you know, they too can benefit from the dust diving as well.
Yes,
probably host it one of these days. Because they have one of the best rivers in Ekosafam Glamorgan. Right? Yeah. But yeah, so it's a good thing, and also the declaration of the Mainridge Day is, I think it's a long time coming.
Yes, it is.
Right? We are the oldest
protected Mainridge Forest Reserve in the Western Hemisphere, and you know, it's about 200 and something. 50 years, 250 years.
Yeah, and it's quite good to know that, you know, and I hope that this event will be marketed globally, so people could come and take pictures, pay money and take pictures. And let me get some money, some US and euros and thing, man.
All right.
Right? Yeah, you know the term. You really that right. But we're gonna go straight over to our birthdays this morning. We just have but a few birthdays. First we have Mr. Dion Williams. A happy birthday goes out to you. Hear from us on Youth Wednesdays and the wider Tobago Updates television family.
Next we have Mr. Karan Kawan. Once again from the Tobago Updates family, we wish you a happy birthday, and we hope you enjoy this special day.
Yes, and last but certainly not least, we have Kristen Silandi. A happy birthday. A happy birthday goes out to you from the Youth Wednesday team and the wider Tobago Updates television family. And for those of you who unfortunately did not make it on our birthday list this morning, we still want to wish you a happy birthday. You know, March is indeed one of the best months. I just want to wish you guys a happy birthday so that you don't feel left out. Miss Julie, I have a sense that there's something you wish to share with us this morning.
Well, this morning we actually have a very packed program. I would love to share who is joining us on set this morning. Firstly, we have Mr. Seth Aqui, a National Geographic explorer, and he'll be joining us to speak about a scholarship program. And after that, we'll be outside with Miss Renessa Ortiz. Then once we come back in studio, we'll be interviewing Miss Anne Natasha II. She is the founding director and host and manager of the International Advocacy Against Child Abuse Conference.
Yes. Before we do the up next, I think it would be remiss of me if we don't wish our C students, you know, congratulations and all the best in advance. In light of tomorrow's C examination, we were once there, right? And I just want to wish you guys all the best. Listen, you guys could do it, you know. Right? Make yourself proud. Go there with confidence. Say a prayer before you go. Put in the work. Right? Don't cram. Right? Make sure you get adequate sleep and eat well. And all the best to you guys. And the parents who would have been and teachers who would have been in preparation for this, you know, momentous day tomorrow. All the best as well. Right? So
Up next, we have Mr. Seth Aqui, a National Geographic explorer, who will be joining us live in studio this morning to discuss a scholarship program. So, as we go for a break, we want to ensure that you don't miss the packed program that we have this morning. So, viewers, we encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
What's up, it's your brother Nathaniel here. Listen, this Easter weekend 2026. Alright, the concert, Scarborough Amphitheater will never be the same. I'm looking forward to fellowshipping with you guys in praise and worship. And I know a couple of my brothers will be there as well. Big up Blessed, Bijan, Fire Night. Alright, we going down in the war room. We going down in the war room.
Arise!
John's Bar on the Boulevard presents the Tobago Vibes Festival. 1 weekend, 4 free events. That's right, 4 nights of freeness at John's Bar. Thursday, April 2nd, we start off with the conscious vibes at I Love Reggae, featuring international reggae superstar Ross Shiloh.
On to Zion we go. I can't move slow, no.
Shiloh.
Are you satisfied? Wipe the tears from your eyes.
Also featuring TNT's very own Kevin Carter and Garden Knight, alongside your favorite reggae-matic DJs. Easter weekend on the Esplanade. It's the safe and secure, admission-free, first annual Tobago Vibes Festival. See social media for details. Keywords Tobago Vibes Festival. I Love Reggae. Powered by John's Bar on the Boulevard.
Trinidad, Tobago and abroad, your chance to drive away in a brand new SUV is still on. The BHS Centennial Raffle has been extended to Thursday, 30th April 2026. And that's not all. Prizes include travel for 2 to Miami and Curacao, Tobago staycation, iPhones, computers, smart TVs, and more. Tickets still only $100. Get yours at selected outlets or at islandetickets.com. Details at bishopstobago100.com/raffle.
Hop, hop, hip hooray. Easter money's on its way. Some bunnies getting a great rate today. Looking for a rate that's bright and sunny? Hop on down for some Easter money. 1% interest through and through. Because we see you at BCU. Apply for a 1% Easter loan and let's hatch something great together. Hop, hop, hip hooray. Easter money's on its way.
I think part of the problem we have, and this is not unique to cardiology, but this concept of checkup is going for review. So for example, women are probably better at, they have the mammogram, they have the pap smear, an older patient may have a schedule with a healthcare clinic. So a lot of people in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s don't think of our healthcare as being part of a proactive thing. So they're waiting for something to happen, then go to the doctor.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station. In a world where our health defines our future and the Caribbean stands on the front lines of climate change, rising NCDs and global challenges, knowledge becomes our greatest defense. Caribbean Medical TV is your guide on the journey to wellness and insight, featuring our region's own doctors, nurses, climate specialists and medical institutions. From physical well-being to the emotional and mental balance we all deserve. Caribbean Medical TV empowers you because building a healthier future isn't just a regional goal, it's a global responsibility. In the Caribbean, vitality isn't just a goal, it's a way of living. Connect with the region through knowledge, hope, and the power of Caribbean resilience on Caribbean Medical TV, where awareness becomes power. Join the conversation, join the movement. Be viewing Season 4 of Caribbean Medical TV right here on this station.
TL Promotion presents Laugh and Live this Good Friday, 7 p.m. It's non-stop laughter at Birchwood Legacy Park, Lowlands. Special guest from Jamaica, Mr. Funny himself, Owen Blacker Ellis. From Trinidad, Rising Comics, Alan the Entertainer, and Son. And from Tobago, amateur comic, Bishop Terence Baines. Listen, this is a laughing matter. Get your tickets now at Den's Electronics, 2nd floor, Port Mall, Scarborough. And Island e-tickets or call 685-1988. At the door, you will pay more. It's gonna be a family affair. Laughter is good for the soul, whether you're young or you're old. So get your tickets now. You can't afford to miss it. Add some laughter to your Easter.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. This is Dwayne and Julie here. We're back again. This morning we'll be discussing with you a scholarship program by Mr. Seth Aqui, who is a young national geographic explorer. We have a lot of young people doing a lot of great things this morning, and he's no stranger to Tobago. And we just want to hear a lot more of what he has to offer pertaining to this scholarship program. So, good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
The pleasure is all ours. You seem quite young. I wouldn't ask you your age, right? But just tell us about yourself and what you do. Here's a quick background and so on.
Okay, so I am Seth Aqui. I was terrified of the ocean at first, but I took part in the Sea, Sun and Science summer camp in 2019. And from that, I was forced by my mom to undergo the scuba diving part of the summer camp. And I did have a mini panic attack underwater, but I know right after that panic subsided, I just fell in love with the ocean. It's like this calm just washed over me. And from then on, I volunteered for every opportunity I could get, doing anything ocean related with many different NGOs, and eventually National Geographic, I got the opportunity to intern with them. And from there, I was nominated to become a young explorer. Applied first, did not get through the first time. Was nominated again, applied again, and was successful the second time.
All right.
And we congratulate you on that. So in addition to the National Geographic Young Explorer Award, you would have received a small grant to fund a project of your choice, correct?
Yes.
So tell us more about the initiative you chose to undertake.
Okay, so this would have come from my experience as a young marine scientist transitioning from getting my degree to being an OJT in Timor. I realized that there was a massive gap between what I would have learned in university and applying it in real-world settings when you actually have to help people. So I decided to come up with this program for young earth sciences, so environmental sciences, geography, marine sciences, as a kind of peer mentorship program where they will get scuba certified and learn about mapping and that sort of thing, and community engagement. In a real world setting, not only using what they would have learned in university or sixth form, but also applying it to real world settings to solve real issues.
And how do you see this program and even your area of expertise by extension contributing to the development of the island?
So I would have marketed this program as not something necessarily to develop individuals, but to develop Tobago on a whole. This program is about building Tobago's capacity for the youth to be able to actually solve issues in the community and be able to interact with some of the experts. So I invited a few experts to come and facilitate 1 or 2 sessions. So they would actually start building the relationship with these experts so that if, let's say, they need to undergo something where they would need a permit from the EMA, they would have a contact, they would know somebody from the EMA. So, when they actually go into the EMA to put whatever permits in, it wouldn't be a new experience for them. It would be somebody that they would have already interacted with. They would be familiar with the work that they do there.
All right. So, how relevant do you believe that like the field of study that you are currently in among the other earth sciences, how relevant do you do you see it being for Tobago? Because, you know, sometimes there's a narrative that, you know, these other traditional field of study, you know, are not as lucrative as as what you're currently engaged in, but clearly we can see, you know, that being so far from the truth. So just shed some light on that for us.
Well, it is not as lucrative in terms of monetary value, but in terms of happiness, I've never seen an unhappy marine scientist.
Okay.
It's a fulfilling line of work where you actually see the work that you do benefiting people and benefiting the environment. And nothing could even come close to the feeling of completing a project where you get the feedback from somebody that, you know, this would have really helped.
Right.
So it's a kind of selfless feel that is more about developing the earth and protecting what we have than it is something that is about you getting rich in terms of like monetary value.
Right. So as a marine specialist, I could call you that, right? You know, being in Tobago and having experience working in Tobago, what are some of the areas do you see, you know, that we can improve in further protecting our marine life, our marine space, right? Because as you know, I could call you environmentalist, you know, we live in synergy and in symbiosis with our environment, which would include marine life.
I would say the main disadvantage that Tobago in general has is that a lot of our qualified individuals leave to go work somewhere else. And you can't really blame them because when I go to Washington to meet my peers and I see people with similar qualifications to me in all these big positions getting, you know, decent salaries.
Yes.
And I think back to myself as an OJT, can't find, I don't want to say a proper job, but placement in Tobago. I really think about the situation in Tobago and how it feeds into the brain drain. I think that all these vacant positions that they have in the THA, they need to start making them available to the young people that because they sell us a dream. If we go to school, we work hard, we study hard, we will get a good job, and we will be able to live a fulfilling life. That has not been the case.
And while we're on the topic of brain drain and Tobago, right? We would have in recent years suffered an oil spill, right? And I'm certain that persons like yourself would have been. I don't know if you were on the team, right? That they were advising the team that was there, as it pertains to how we rehabilitate our marine space that was affected. If not, what opportunities do you see young Tobagonians who are unemployed now in your field, in similar fields like yourself? What would you advise that they do so that they could lend their area of expertise and feel like they went to school for something?
Okay, so during the oil spill, I was unemployed, and I was in the process of looking for a job. I was volunteering. I was with this this organization called EcoSeas Caribbean at the time, and under them I decided to go interview Mr. Alan Siota, our director at TIMA. I wasn't employed at TIMA at the time, about the oil spill. So the part that I would have played was spreading a bit of public awareness on the oil spill and how it impacts Tobago and also the laws behind it, how the Tobago House of Assembly Act falls into the management of this oil spill.
So for persons who are interested in receiving a similar honor as you, what would your advice to them be?
I would say it's a slow burn. You have to volunteer a lot. I volunteered with at least 5 different organizations at the time that I became Young Explorer. And not all of them were paid. So you have to be willing to not do it for the money, but do it for the passion and do it because you genuinely want to see the environment become a better place. I think that too often people do things only when they could see immediate benefits to themselves and not for the betterment of society. I would say try to move away from the mindset of benefiting yourself and think more about how you could grow Tobago in general. And when you do good, good will come to you.
Just tell us a little bit more about this scholarship. How do interested persons apply? Who is really offering this scholarship again? And is there a website, etc.?
Okay, so this scholarship, it's a kind of combination of a scholarship where they get the scuba certification, a very expensive certification, but also is more peer mentorship, where I, as the peer, would teach them some of the stuff that I would have learned along the way and introduce them to some of the people in my network so that they not only get the skills that they need, but also they are able to meet a lot of the people that work in the environmental sphere in Tobago, as I would have mentioned earlier. And you could get it by going on my social media page. You could just look up my name, Seth Aqui, on Instagram. You'll see my Instagram profile, and you could just scan the QR code or click on the link and on the flyer for it and apply. And you have until the end of this month.
Oh, that's great. So you're saying that this would be more applicable to CSEC, CAPE, persons who are pursuing biology, higher, tertiary level education. Which of the categories does it omit, or is it all inclusive?
I would say it's more focused towards people from sixth form diploma to early university level, but I would not discourage anyone from applying it because there's a lot of influential young people that do not have degrees or aren't pursuing any kind of earth sciences based studies, but are very knowledgeable and very experienced in the field and make a big impact in the community. So I would just say, if you think that you would benefit from this kind of training, apply for it.
Right. And does the program has like a duration? You just tell us some more about that.
So it would mostly be on weekends and afternoons. Well, not every weekend, but mostly like Sundays. And it would start in April and finish in December with a big stakeholder engagement session where we would actually present the work that we would have done. And I say we because I would be doing the work also with them to the stakeholders.
Okay.
And these stakeholders that you mentioned, is there anyone specifically that you would like to give a shout out to who would have supported you and contributed to your journey towards this scholarship program?
Well, how can I forget my project partner, Dr. Siobhan Peters McPherson. She has been very supportive in my growth as a marine scientist. She would have taught me in university and she would have been there all the way from the beginning of my journey, and she agreed to be my project partner on this project. So she has been very supportive and I just want to thank her for that. And
and finally, you would have mentioned diving. Well, obviously the diving will be done locally. By chance, who would be the company training these young lads on how to scuba dive and so on?
Okay, so Frontier Divers is the dive shop that I chose for them because it's the dive shop that got me my first 3 certifications and is the one that I have the most experience. There are others that are pretty good around the island.
Where they're located?
Storby.
Storby. Okay, I have never heard about that.
Frontier Divers.
Okay, all right.
As soon as you walk from the car park to get to the beach, on the left is the first stop.
Right, all right.
So you're very qualified, your facilitators are qualified, and this initiative is well supported, so there really isn't any reason to be skeptical as someone who is interested in receiving this certification.
And I want to also give a big shout out to Tima because they would also be involved in this project in a very heavy way. So I just want to give a big thank you to Mr. Alan Stewart for his support of this project, even when I had to go to Washington to finish my Young Explorer training. He was very supportive in that.
All right. All right, Mr. Aqui, I just want to say congratulations and continue doing the good work that you're doing. Thank you for joining us on Youth Wednesdays. I want to encourage you to come again, right? Any parting words for him, Miss Shinja?
Congratulations again. Thank you very much for joining us on Tobago Updates, and continue with the good work. You are really making a difference in the Tobago space, and it is very refreshing to see young persons venturing into less conventional fields, but yet still a field that contributes well to Tobago's development. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and thank God for giving me the opportunity to do this.
All right. Even a bigger shout out there, man. So up next we go over to Miss we're gonna go outside rather. We're outside this morning with Renessa Ortiz. So just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Tobago. It's Carnival. The vibe. The event space, formerly known as Shade, for the court Tobago. Said, let's celebrate Carnival. Bring your coolers every Friday and Saturday, starting from Friday the 30th of January till Carnival week, and pay $50 at the door with your cooler all night. No ice, no chaser. Allowed. Top DJ and artists passing through every Friday and Saturday. To pre-book your cabanas, call 369-6414 and 394-3612 or email iwamg@gmail.com. And this promotion is going on until Easter. Gates open at 9 p.m. It's rum, it's bacchanal. Bring your coolers and come.
Been down this road before. All that left is rum and bacchanal. This is Carnival.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
As the Conby Mount Pleasant Community Council brings to you their Easter Sport and Family Day. On Monday, 6th April, Easter Monday, we transform the Mount Pleasant recreational grounds. We kick off with track and field events, novelty races, Easter bonnet competition, the Greasy Pole Challenge, and the highly anticipated William Woods Premier Goat Racing Classic. Huge prizes to be won, and we can't forget the Kids Corner with rides and bouncy castles. At 7 p.m., it's an after party and a stage show by popular artists and DJs. Grounds tickets cost $60 for adults and $30 for kids 5 to 12 years. Pavilion tickets cost $100 and children under 5 years are free. So register early for races. Check out Combi Mount Pleasant Community Council on Facebook. 474-4661. 474-4661 for more details. Live performance by the 2026 National Calypso Monarch Queen, Terry Lyons.
Need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing.
People, the 4th and 5th of April, it's all about Arise. Tobago, we coming. Oh, let's see the video of jumping out of planes for this one. Parachuting down to the Scarborough Amphitheater. Yes, this is the place to be. Along with mother, friends and them, and even the ones from Tobago too. Big up all yourself. We're gonna have a great time in Jesus' name. Arise!
Arise! Blissful melodies come from heaven, so his praise are given to the King that given.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, we are live at Anchors. We are out of the studio and welcome back to Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are here to talk about the regatta that is coming up on April 4th. It's called Anchor Up. And we're going to be joined in the conversation by Kerry Douglas, the operational manager for Anchor Bar and Grill. Joining us, viewers, is Kerry Douglas, operational manager of Anchor Bar and Grill. We're going to be talking about the regatta as mentioned earlier. Good morning and welcome.
Welcome, good morning.
So tell us a bit about the regatta.
Well, the regatta is a family event taking place on the 4th of April, Saturday. It starts at 10 a.m. You can be ready to see some excitement. We have nice fast boats, Thanos, we have Guyver coming out there, we have Blue Streak, we have those boys from Castara as well. There's a lot to look forward to. We also have the RC boats. The RC boats is a new thing that we introduced into it, and we also want you to come and enjoy a lot of nice sponsorships, a lot of giveaways. You know, it's a day to enjoy.
So you mentioned sponsorship. Tell us about some of the persons you are collaborating with on this regatta.
Well, this regatta is one to remember, and I hope it's the start of something amazing. In this space now we have 92.7. We collaborated with them as well to get the job done. Thanks to Mr. George Leacup for helping us out there. We also have Angostura as one of our sponsors. We also have Carib as also one of our sponsors. Hadco as well. So we have a lot of people on board. We also have Mercury, coming up just to display the stuff, and let's see how far it can go.
Now tell us about registration and persons who are interested in participating. Tell us a bit about that.
You can register here at Anchor Bar and Grill on the day. All right. If you wish, you can reach out to Gogo from the Boating Association, or you can also reach out to my brother Sabian, and he will give you further information where registration is concerned.
Now, I know these events usually have a sort of reward at the end. Can you tell us a bit about that, or is this something you're keeping a bit of?
Yes, I'm not going to display the rewards. Let's just say it's getting bigger, it's getting better, so you need to expect more.
Okay,
right?
Also.
Excitement is out there.
So, apart from the regatta that will be taking place, tell us a little bit about entertainment. Is there any entertainment to look forward to? Who would be there? What can the spectators look forward to while enjoying what is going on?
Well, you have the whole 92.7 Touch the Road team. As in this case, as I say, we're touching the water. So you can expect different DJs. You can expect, I don't know, a little pop-up artists, Entertainment is something that happens on the spot at Anchor. It's an authentic experience, so we try our best not to sell it too much, You have to be here every minute. They call it the happy minute.
So before we go into the karaoke segment of Anchor Bar and Grill, I want you to give one last pitch to the viewers and the audience and persons who would be interested in participating for the regatta. Why they should come, the when, the where, the why, the how. Tell the viewers.
If you guys remember what I think Great Race used to look like back in the days when Torbay used to be good, that's what we're aiming for. we're aiming to bring back experience, international experience, where we can have tourists and everybody coming from different various Caribbean islands to just experience this. Even Miami, as far as we can
That
go.
would be really great for Tobago to have that exposure.
Of course.
Now tell them
It's
the
all
when,
about
the
Tobago.
why, and the how.
How you can get here by, and as you hear saying them, anchor up. You can get here by boat, by car, walk, bus, just get here, right? That is the how. The when, well, we know the 4th of April, all right, at 10 a.m. The why, to get the authentic experience and to be a part of an amazing journey. It's about to start. As I say, we welcome 92.7 on board. Very grateful. And let's look out for it. Come and be a part.
Now, viewers, before we wrap up this interview, we have a second segment. But before we do that, remember to stay tuned right here. But remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Here we go. What's up, it's your brother Nathaniel here. Listen, this Easter weekend 2026. Alright, the concert, Scarborough Amphitheater will never be the same. I'm looking forward to fellowshipping with you guys in praise and worship. And I know a couple of my brothers will be there as well. Big up, blessed, Bijon, Fahrenheit. Alright, we going down in the war room. We going down in the war room.
Arise! Trinidad, Tobago and abroad, your chance to drive away in a brand new SUV is still on. The BHS Centennial Raffle has been extended to Thursday 30th April 2026. And that's not all. Prizes include travel for two to Miami and Curacao, Tobago staycation, iPhones, computers, smart TVs and more. Tickets still only $100. Get yours at selected outlets or at islandetickets.com. Details at bishopstobago100.com/raffle.
Hop, hop, hip hooray, Easter money's on its way. Some bunny's getting a great rate today. Looking for a rate that's bright and sunny? Hop on down for some Easter money. 1% interest through and through, because we see you at BCU. Apply for a 1% Easter loan and let's hatch something great together. Hop, hop, hip hooray, Easter money's on its way.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers, and we are here on site at Anchor Bar and Grill. I am joined by operational manager Kerry Douglas, and we're going to get into a bit more about the things that the offers and the opportunities that Anchor Bar and Grill has for the public. So, Kerry, tell us a little bit about Anchor Bar and Grill.
Well, Anchor Bar and Grill is a family establishment. We offer, again, try to keep it authentic. I'll give you a week rundown of our schedule, right? On a Monday, we have something called pan and roast, where you can experience roast breadfruit, roast fish, roast potatoes, okras.
Really taking us back to days before, yes.
As I said, authentic experience. And we're more focused on the tourism market. So that's something that I offer, not only as a meal, but as an experience. On Tuesday, we have a karaoke, all right?
I've experienced that before. I didn't go on the mic. I didn't get the opportunity. I put my name down, but I didn't get the opportunity to go. But
sorry about that.
it's really nice to be here and witness. I know there are some karaoke professionals that I usually hear.
Well, I'm calling out them professionals. After let's list this, I'll tell you why we're calling them professionals. On Wednesday, we have Sunset Jazz with Keywan, that's our guitarist, serenaded the sunset. Then we have Ricardo Seals on the saxophone, comes in after that. Thursday, we have Taco Thursdays. We experience tacos and tequila shots at a reasonable price that you can get there and just get a little taco to level back out. Friday, we leave it open because Friday is different entertainment. Saturday, we have R&B Saturdays, and Sunday, we have just a retro Sunday, right? And that's the week of Anchor rundown. Kitchen closing time is at 12, open from 11, all right? Anchor Bar and Grill close when the people leave. Because honestly, we're trying to aim to see if we can make it. I haven't been all over the Caribbean, but I want to see if we can make it the first beach bar 24 hours in the Caribbean, as you can see where we at. So you must be able to come anytime, bathe, enjoy it, with or without.
You spoke about the karaoke professionals.
Yes,
so
the
go a bit
karaoke
into that for us.
professionals. All right, come in May, the month of May, we have a series of karaoke, up to $5,000 in prizes to be won. Calling out the best karaoke singers. Not the professional singers, but the karaoke singers, the bathroom ones.
Yes.
All right, and let me have a good time.
So, in terms of this series, tell us about what should we expect, how the night is intended to go, especially when it comes to the karaoke for that particular series in May.
Come with your best voice and your best key. That's how that will go, because you choose your song. You choose your song. I think on the final night, you might have a little changes there, but up until then, you choose your song till you get to the final.
Now let's talk about sponsors and collaborators for this particular series.
This particular series, we have also Hatco, we also have Angostura, and you have a lot of drink specials out as well.
Can you share with us some of these drink specials, or is it entirely up to surprise, or is it that the patrons need to come out so you know what these specials are?
That's what it is. You need to come out so you know what the specials are. I told you it's a happy minute. If you miss the minute, you miss the experience. Normally you have happy hours. At Anchor, we have happy minutes.
So we spoke a bit about the drink specials and what we have to offer in terms of karaoke, but tell us a bit about the food that you have to offer here at Anchor Bar and Grill.
Food. Food here, from other people's experience, it's amazing. We just try our best to be as consistent as possible. Loaded fries.
That's one of my go-tos. Anytime I have to come to Anchor to get something to eat, it's always a loaded fries.
Loaded fries.
Since it's always a loaded fries.
Loaded fries going to have a nice special, I believe, going to come on loaded fries just for this Easter, because it's a seller. It's a seller. Kids love it, right? And experience the menu. People comes, watch the menu and think they can choose a combo. You don't have to choose a combo. You can choose a meat, you can choose a side, you can dance your menu to suit you.
And we're going back a bit to the karaoke in terms of the prizes. Tell us the places and the placements for the prizes that will be given out. Are there special prizes? Is it first, second, and third?
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. So we basically have a prize for everybody. But number one gets the best, huh? Right? So let's see who will be number one.
So share with the viewers and those who are looking on who would be interested in terms of the karaoke and stuff like that, your social media handles so that they can stay in touch and updated with you, your contact number for here at Anchor, so that whenever they want to place an order, not just for the karaoke, but also for food and drinks. Say at lunchtime they want to run away. Tell us about that, if you offer delivery and all of these things.
Okay, well, we offer delivery to Chop to Go. Anchor number is 660-5687. You can call, place your order there. If not, you can WhatsApp my number at 294-3257. I can see how best I can assist in terms of putting your order in. Pick up, most likely for that situation. As I say, Tap to Go is our delivery service. All right? What else? Instagram, Anchor Bar and Grill at Instagram. You can get that there. You can get Facebook or social media platform.
So guys, we are here on site at Anchor Bar and Grill. We're talking with Kerry Douglas, operational manager here at Anchor Bar and Grill. It's a family-owned business.
Yes.
Family-owned business. We're here on the deck. I don't know about persons who's been here before, but as you can see, the deck has expanded. It has expanded. So we're seeing that we're having so much development here at this Bar and Grill.
Yep.
As Kerry mentioned, he wants this to be one of the first 24-hour bars in the Caribbean, and I wish you all the best on that endeavor.
Thank you.
And I want you to give one final pitch for your karaoke series coming up in May. Time, tell them what they need to do to register, what they need to do to come out to be a part of this full experience.
You registered here. You registered here at Anchor. Choose your song. As I said, there might be changes on the final night once you make it to the final. But up until then, you get to choose your song. You know your favorite song where you stand in the bathroom and you have fun with? Choose your song, come out, see if you can make the place. Yeah, win prizes, enjoy each other company, nice drink specials. Yeah, I love tequila. Tequila shots, I love tequila.
So you heard it from Kerry Douglas, your tequila shots, your karaoke series. You also have the regatta on April 4th. So stay tuned, come out to Anchor Bangle, support, come with your friends, come with your family, come and enjoy. And we look forward to seeing you here at Anchor Bangle in April and in May. Thank you so much, Kerry, for coming on this morning.
Nice meeting you.
You as well.
Cheers.
And to our viewers, remember to stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break. But remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
TL Promotion presents Laugh and Live this Good Friday, 7 p.m. It's non-stop laughter at Birchwood Legacy Park, Lowland. Special guest from Jamaica, Mr. Funny himself, Owen Blacker Ellis. From Trinidad, Rising Comics, Alan the Entertainer, and Son. And from Tobago, amateur comic, Bishop Terence Bays. Listen, this is a laughing matter. Get your tickets now at Den's Electronics, 2nd floor, Port Mall, Scarborough. An Island e-tickets or call 685-1988. At the door, you will pay more. It's gonna be a family affair. Laughter is good for the soul, whether you're young or you're old. So get your tickets now. You can't afford to miss it. Add some laughter to your Easter.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
As the Conby Mount Pleasant Community Council brings to you the Easter Sport and Family Day. On Monday, 6th April, Easter Monday, we transform the Mount Pleasant recreational grounds. We kick off with track and field events, novelty races, Easter bonnet competition, the Greasy Pole Challenge, and the highly anticipated William Woods Premier Goat Racing Classic. Huge prizes to be won, and we can't forget the Kids Corner with rides and bouncy castles. At 7 p.m., it's an after party and stage show by popular artists and DJs. Grounds tickets cost $60 for for adults and $30 for kids 5 to 12 years. Pavilion tickets cost $100 and children under 5 years are free. So register early for races. Check out Combi Mount Pleasant Community Council on Facebook. 474-4661. 474-4661 for more details. Live performance by the 2026 National Calypso Monarch Queen, Terry Lyons.
Need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. It is Youth Wednesdays, and currently in studio with us we have Miss Anne Tasha II, and she is the founding director and manager of International Advocacy Against Child Abuse. Today she will be chatting with us about the non-governmental organization and the conference they are having. Good morning, Miss II, and welcome to Tobago Update.
Good morning, Julie and Dwayne. Good morning to Tobago and everyone viewing.
Good morning.
Right. So, Ms. Second, for persons who are for the first time hearing about International Advocacy Against Child Abuse, provide us with some background information on the non-governmental organization.
Okay. So, International Advocacy Against Child Abuse, we fondly call it IACA, is an NGO, it's a non-governmental organization. That means everyone can be a part of it. And it was founded in 2009. We primarily examine educating families and communities about the effects of child abuse and the trauma that is related to it. But we have expanded because of the myriad of social problems that all of our communities are facing. So we also look at domestic violence, we look at gender-based violence, and we collaborate a lot to try to treat with social problems.
Okay, 2009, the foundation is as old as me. So, you have an upcoming 4-day conference.
Yes.
Provide us with some information on what members of the public can look forward to and how they can join in or become a part and participate in this conference.
Yes, well, I'm going to enjoy updating Tobago Updates and the population about how people have responded to our call to this conference. So we have a biannual conference, and this year the theme is Restoration, Strengthening Communities, Building Hope. We are going to be hosting youth, women, adults, etc. For 4 days from April the 16th to April the 19th. So the first day, the Thursday, that is going to be at THTI. And there we're going to have our official opening, and we're going to have a number of exciting panelists discussing very pertinent topics. So the persons who have confirmed so far include Children's Authority, we have the Girl Guides and Boy Scouts Association, we have persons from the migrant community, the Venezuelan community, we have persons from the differently abled community. So it's very exciting. We also have recovering addicts and so on who will be talking about their experiences. So that's day 1, the exciting opening, 5 to 7 at THTI. Day 2, we continue that kind of discussion, that kind of mental and emotional sort of interaction and sharing with our workshop at Scarborough Library. So that's Friday the 17th of April, and that one is taking place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. After that, we have a wonderful youth caravan for all of our young people, right, to come, to interact, to have fun, do some praise and worship, and they express their challenges and solutions to their challenges, because they also have solutions to their challenges. And then we wrap it up with a brunch experience at Beverly Oasis. So that's all for the wonderful event.
Yes. I think you mentioned an activity for every group of persons in this society.
That's the intention.
So we're looking forward to that. And you described this conference as biannual, so there will be another one later this year?
No, we have we had one late last year.
Okay,
yeah,
so this is the second one. And what initiatives has IACA carried out thus far since its inception in 2009?
We do seminars, workshops. We meet people's needs fundamentally. If they need counseling, we align them with partner organizations for whatever they need. We have done school hamper drives, we've done food hamper drives, fundraisers, all kinds of fundraisers, bake sales, cake sales, awareness walks, and so on. The key thing is to help persons to be able to talk through their trauma and to cope with whatever issues they have and to overcome them so that they can bring healing to others as well and to function effectively in society, whether it's the workplace or whatever. Even though we started out with child abuse as the focus, because children live in the context of homes, schools, and so on, adults who treat with them, we have to deal with their issues and their, the things that they need to overcome as well. So you would find retirees coming to talk at our events. You would find persons who are newly divorced coming to talk, persons who have overcome various forms of addictions, persons who used to be in prison. You find adults coming to apologize for what they did to children or to come to terms with what happened to them as they were children. So it's a very all-encompassing sort of approach to healing.
That's really, really good. But this all boils down to the why, because you find that a lot of people or organizations do things possibly because they can do it, right? What do you guys hope to achieve? Right? What is the why behind what is it you're doing, and what in terms of solving whatever social issue that we are plagued with, not just here in Tobago but internationally, as the name suggests?
That's a brilliant question, very critically aware and critically thinking kind of process. There are a number of outcomes. One is to get persons together from different arenas, different spheres of life, to understand that they do have some of the solutions to the social problems. So one of the outcomes is to share the best practices of coping, whether you're coping in the schools against violence and bullying, whether you're coping in the homes, etc. So one of the things, the outcomes is to be able to improve people's capacity to practically treat with social issues, and that is by sharing them, from different avenues. The second outcome is to increase the involvement of young people in their own solutions-oriented approaches. We want the young people to speak out, young men, young women, etc. And we do have a number of different NGOs and groups that are working with young people, but they're working in silos. We want to get together and we want to align some of the pathways that we have so that we can move together against the negative effects of drug abuse, gang violence, all of these things that are they seem to be overtaking the society. Finally, we want to maintain that connection because we want to expand. We're looking forward to, in the long term, we have long-term plans for IACA, to establishing 3 centers, one in Tobago and 2 in Trinidad, one in the north side and one closer to the south side. And then we also want to look at Latin America and the Caribbean, because the ultimate motto is that the Latin America and Caribbean region must become the safest place to raise children.
Yeah.
All this human trafficking and abuse of children in various forms, we want to dispense with that.
Do away with it.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you're taking this holistic approach because, we have to be able to see the nexus between, start to finish.
Yes.
One of the constant things is change. However, change is so hard to come by. How do you see the challenge? How do you see approaching the challenge of change in terms of unlearning behaviors that, that cultivate these unhealthy practices and behaviors over time, so that we could create this safe space for children? Because the parents who raise children were once children and were probably raised poorly in the first place. So that's probably 30-something, 40-something, 20-something years of unlearning. Is this initiative a one-time thing? Is it something that you're going to, branch off into different societies, schools, churches, etc., so that we really continue to foster the change?
brilliant again? Yes. Schools have registered, churches, NGOs, etc. Because the thing is for us to have that collaborative effort that will just keep us going, keep the momentum going. The thing is, the evil that is out there, whether it's gang violence, etc., does not stop. And therefore, our lives are very busy. We're trying to survive as individuals. We're trying to survive as small groups. But we have to recognize that we have major social problems that can only be resolved if we work together consistently. So the idea is to expand, to collaborate, to partner, and to continue to do initiatives like this. Yes, in the schools, yes, in the churches, yes, everywhere. And on the block too, just among, among persons who are just elderly and they're at home, they have the emptiness. You have something to contribute. Let's do it together.
Yes. So as we seek to conclude this interview, for anyone who may be looking on and may be interested in joining the work of your NGO, please share with us quickly the contact information with which they can reach you.
Right. So they can contact anybody in Yaka through 474-2200, or they can go on any of our social media pages, Facebook, YouTube, we're out there. So we have a social media presence. So all you have to do is check us, International Advocacy Against Child Abuse. You'll be able to register for this conference or join and participate in any of our activities.
Yes, viewers, you heard just exactly how you can be a part of this society change. So Dwayne, I think we had a very interesting and packed program this morning on Youth Wednesdays.
Yeah, and I want to thank Miss Second for coming on to just help us bring the curtains down so nicely. She's a jack of all trades. I hope the latter part of that statement never applies to her at all. Right, I hope she is the master of all. Well, she seems to be. And all the best in your endeavors. I sure Miss St. John will love to be a part of your NGO, and I don't mind. You could always lean on me.
Wonderful. I will be calling you.
Strong or not strong.
Thank you again for coming.
Yes.
So despite the fact that we are closing off Youth Wednesdays here on the Tobago Updates morning show, we invite you to stay tuned to Tobago Updates, because coming up we do have Good Morning Tobago. So at this time it is 8:01 a.m. We wish you a good morning, a great rest of the week, and a happy long weekend ahead.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but yeah.
So stay tuned to Tobago Updates. We head over to Good Morning Tobago in a short while.
But just remember to, just before we give the catch line, all those patrons coming to Tobago, take your time on the road.
Yes.
Don't drink and drive.
Safety
we have put a few electrical poles here, right? We need our electricity, so don't come and drink and be reckless and bounce on with pole and thing, right? Enjoy the beaches, enjoy the food, but just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
We move from impact to scale with a bold target, and get this, of 350 participants this year alone across multiple age groups. The aim is not just bigger, it is smarter, deeper, and more aligned to the future economy in line with the global trends and happenings. We are expanding and paying particular attention to new areas such as artificial intelligence, creative and engineering design, digital photography, smart systems and automation, and integrated innovation as a discipline.
My favorite module was coding because it was very exciting and something new, and I've never tried it before. And I created a lot of stuff with my coding, and I would definitely encourage other students to attend STEM camp because it's really exciting and it brings out artistic scientific and technological minds to STEM camp. And it's a great investment if you want your child to explore different things.
Any opportunity to give our young children or young students in Tobago exposure and so on, it is something that we will always want to be a part of, because that's part of our mandate, innovation. And we will want our young people to be a part of that. So obviously, this company is also under the Division of Education. So it's been done in partnership with us. And therefore, we will always encourage initiatives such as these and also try to see where we can emulate some of these initiatives.
As we launch today, we reaffirm our commitment to protecting the integrity and reputation of our organization by maintaining high standards of excellence. We believe that STEM Camp will continue to be a beacon of growth, creativity, and community pride for Tobago.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Yes, I love golf. I love to play golf.
Urban's Golf Academy, this is the 4th annual School Golf Intercall, and the initiative to start this School Golf Intercall because all sports has an intercall, and we are in the schools and we are teaching this game of golf, pre-primary and soon to be secondary, right? So I came up with the idea, why not have a school golf intercall with drive, chip, putt and relay? And starting it off was a great success, and every year it has increased, and it just filled my heart with joy to see golf on the island, especially short game, chipping, putting and drive, promoting golf and the school golf intercall.
Signal Hill has been a part of this golf intercall for the 4th year. Since its inception, we have held top school in more than 1 year consecutively. Being here representing Signal Hill with my students is a phenomenal experience. At Signal Hill, we encourage our students to take part in different activities, golf being one of the disciplines, several areas, and it allows children to express themselves. So we are truly excited to be here yet again. I want to thank Miss Irvin for her coming with this novel idea and embracing it in such a way to it being what it is today.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
It's a brand new morning, rise a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying Tobago.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. Ladies and gentlemen, you know whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Tobago is officially the starting block for the International Freestyle Diving season. The Division of Tourism has announced the island will host the opening events for the 2026 Dodge Diving League World Tour on May 23rd. Following last year's successful World Championships, the elite competition returns to the iconic cliffs of Pirates Bay. Officials say the event further solidifies Tobago as a premier global destination for extreme sport and ecotourism. Additionally, history is on the table as Assembly Legislature today, during the third plenary sitting, Secretary Darren Henry is moving a motion to officially declare April 30th as Main Ridge Day. The move seeks to institutionalize the 250th anniversary of the 1776th legislation that made Tobago home to the oldest protected rainforest in the Western Hemisphere. If passed, the resolution will mandate a suite of activities to promote environmental stewardship and climate resilience across the island. And finally, in developing news, the Division of Housing has announced a major sanitization of its application database to address the massive application backlog of 8,000 to 10,000 files, with the first 100 housing units expected to be ready by this Christmas. And that was our news in 90 seconds. This morning we jump straight ahead to chatting about recent conversations and messages that have been sent to the Truckers Association of Tobago. And to have that conversation with me this morning, I have the privilege of chatting with the PRO who is in studio with me, Mr. Damian Edwards. Good morning.
Good morning.
As well as Mr. Frank Stewart, the Vice President, who is online, and Mr. David Mentor, who is the Assistant Secretary that would be joining us online for this conversation as well. We have gotten into a period where the Blue Wave Harmony is finally back, or is at least now, yes, we can say finally into full service mode. And recently we saw the Chief Secretary making that trip from Trinidad to Tobago on the vessel and talking to a number of the truckers, yourself included. Yes. Tell us a bit about that. What is the assurances or messages that the association is getting from the Chief Secretary, and what are you expecting moving forward after such a harsh period?
Well, I must say good morning to our viewers and also those who are watching us online. And indeed, the experience was a really humbling one. First and foremost, we did send a letter to the Chief Secretary asking him to join us because we would have heard him said one of these days. So we piggyback on that and we penned a letter, and he did receive it. His protocol office did acknowledge, and subsequently we would have indicated some days that, you know, would be suitable, and he chose one of those days, and one of those days was the Thursday, the 19th. And what was so heartwarming is that normally when the boat leaves the dock, you will hear the captain making an announcement, but to hear his voice, and he was very fluent, articulative as we know him to be, and it was really pleasant for us as truckers to hear such.
Right. And you know, even as it pertains to conversations that the Chief Secretary had during that down period of the cargo vessel, he did indicate that he is putting a team together that is going to look at possible compensation for loss for businesses who have been affected by the delays in the cargo vessel. Have you had that type of conversation? Was that brought up in the discussions that you had, and what are some of the recommendations moving forward?
Okay, well, that aspect of the discussion did not come up. We discussed other stuff, but the part with compensation and that kind of stuff, that was not brought up in our discussions.
All right. And, good morning again to our guests joining us online virtually this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. What do you look forward to as it pertains to that continued relationship between the THA and the truckers moving forward and continuing that level of open dialogue?
Good morning, Chanel. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to all truckers, all port workers, and all users of the TNT Sea Bridge. Our approach to the Sea Bridge service is a collaborative approach with the Port Authority. We are not here to reinvent the wheel, but we are here to improve on it. With the use of modern technology and the modern ways of doing things, we hope to work with the port in bringing improved service to the users of the Sea Bridge service.
Right. And even as it pertains to that conversation that was sparked with the Chief Secretary, how important is it to maintain that level of open dialogue with the policymakers to ensure that truckers are a part of the decision making as it pertains to what happens at the port, with the Port Authority, with the boats, and just having sustainable solutions? Because we know the Blue Wave Harmony is a temporary solution to a long-term issue that Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago on a whole has been facing.
Ongoing dialogue is very vital and is very important. It will hopefully prevent the port from making decisions before consulting the users of the service, thereby preventing bad decisions being made. Collaborating with the truckers will eventually enable them to make informed decisions that will be to the benefit of all users of the Sea Bridge.
Understood. Mr. Damien, tell us a bit about how have you seen that huge improvement within the last few weeks since the steady flow of cargo back and forth with the new Blue Wave Harmony being on stream full time?
Okay, we must say that yes, we would have seen where there were interruptions. However, we are seeing that yes, the cargo boat is definitely taking the capacity. There are some limitations, but we are working collaboratively whereby we can treat with it. However, in a nutshell, the boat is handling the capacity well, because you would not have or you are not seeing now that trucks are being left back, containers are being left back.
Right.
So the capacity is being maintained and the capacity is there for us. But however, there are still some limitations, but we are working with the port to make sure that we have those things rectified.
Right, and there are a number of business persons, particularly in the construction sector, that were really crying out during that period, specifically when the boat was down or when we had to use alternative solutions. Have you guys been having those conversations with the construction sector on the island, or just some of the affected groups, just to see how you could bridge that gap where there was that period where persons did not have adequate supply of goods just to ply their trade in Tobago?
Yes, we have that one-on-one conversation with individual truckers, as well as there are other groups would have reached out to the Chief Secretary and they had that conversation. But we, the T&T Seabridge Truckers Limited, we have been in constant communication with the port, especially CEO Mr. Tracy, and also their communication department, letting them know, well, okay, what are the concerns, how can we mitigate, and how can we move forward.
All right. And moving forward, what are the solutions that have been placed on the table to ensure that there is that sustained consistency in truckers being able to move back and forth? In the instance where, let's say, for instance, it's a natural disaster and the boat is down again, what are the interim solutions that are being put in place or recommendations being put forth to ensure that we don't end up in the same position again?
It seems like you were there, because that same question was posed to us. The Chief Secretary did ask a question, and I'll allow my Vice President to answer that question, because that particular question was asked and we made some recommendation going forward. So at this time, I'll allow my Vice President to answer that question.
Right. Okay.
One of the results in the instance of like the port being incapacitated or being unable to be used, one of the suggestions was developing an alternative port location, and also the use of other vessels that will augment the service while the regular vessel or while the regular port location is incapacitated.
All right, and explain to me a bit what that looks like, because though the truckers may understand what you're saying, or persons within the industry, for the layman or for persons that are not, you know, very knowledgeable on ports or just trade and goods trafficking movement back and forth, what exactly do you mean by having an alternative port? Do you mean that there should be another port in Tobago, another port in Trinidad?
Yes.
There's been that conversation about having a port in Toco. Explain to us a bit.
Yes, other locations where the boats can easily dock and load and offload. Two possible areas that were looked at, Studley Park was one in Tobago. We did not identify any in Trinidad, but Toco comes to mind as one of the ports in Trinidad that could be a possible location. But that is basically it. Alternative port locations where vessels could dock, load and offload easily.
Mr. Stewart, would you say that the truckers are in a more stable or comfortable position as we speak?
It is a work in progress. Actually, I had a conversation with one of the truckers earlier this week, and one of the lamentation of the trucker, because we have truckers being on the boat 3-4 times per week, back and forth, not being able to go home to their families. And when you come and load a truck in the morning and you get on the boat, you want something good, replenish that used energy. So one of the things that we are working with the port on is getting proper cooked food on the boat.
Right.
Because the trucker lamented that he wants to be comfortable when he's on the boat. That means accommodation. He wants to be able to lie down and get up some rest, and he wants to get a proper meal to rejuvenate his system.
Understood.
Those are things that we are working with the port towards dealing with.
Right, and I mean, that is not a request that is too hard to meet. If truckers are asking for more nutritious meals,
it is a reasonable expectation.
Yeah, to sustain them throughout the journey back and forth. And you know, Trinidad and Tobago being a twin island state, we're relatively close by compared to the United States, where trucking is a huge industry, and on a daily basis, persons traverse, you know, back and forth over days driving across the country to ensure that goods and services are delivered to their customers. And one of the things that we see is that within that industry, there are those truck stops that are specifically set up for truckers to go take a shower. Do you think that the port within itself, understanding the cargo needs of the inter-island relationship, should put more effort into creating those trucker-centric facilities on the actual ports themselves?
I am glad that you mentioned it, and I'm glad that you have given that illustration, because it also lent itself also in the conversation with the Chief Secretary. We also spoke about that because he came with his notebook. You could see he came prepared to listen to the hard questions and also the comments we made. And he also gave, I wouldn't say a commitment, but he says he's going to look into it, because we also look at the connectivity issue in terms of internet. There are different types of truckers, and there are truckers who are doing studies, and so they need that connectivity to continue their schoolwork and that kind of stuff. So he took that note. Also, we also had the CEO joining us the first time, taking the voyage. So he literally seen, he recognized, yes, the letters that we have penned, the recommendation that we have suggested, he's recognizing that there is value, because most times when individuals get letters, they read it and they say, well, they're just making noise. But them being there, seeing it, definitely going through the emotion, they are going back now to their boardrooms now to make now even a greater case. I must let you know here that the T&T Seabridge Truckers Limited also penned a letter to the minister. She did respond. She wanted to make the voyage, but she told us that on that day she had cabinet meeting, but she made note that when she's available, she's going to reach back us through email and letting us know when she's also going to make that voyage. And let you know, once we know, we're going to let all the truckers be aware, so we could even pose more questions, because we know that they are the ones who have the decision-making powers to make things happen.
Understood. And does the current vessel have shower facilities on it, on the Blue Wave Harmony?
Yes, the current vessel has 73 cabins. However, there are still some minor things that they need to make adjustment. But yes, it have showers, it have toilet facilities, it have sleeping accommodation. So it have all of that. They just need to make the necessary adjustment, which they have given us commitment. And we are hoping that it is not too long from now to make sure that when we board the vessel, especially when we travel on a night, you want to sleep. There are those who don't work cabin because they're accustomed to having their block beds and their mattresses to sleep on the upper deck, but there are those of us who want to sleep in cabin. You could be able to change and freshen up to face the day the next morning.
Excellent. And Mr. Stewart, is there anything that you want to say as it pertains to sending a message to the truckers at this time?
I would just like to let the truckers know that we are here for them, and we are here to petition on their behalf and work on their behalf for improved service on the T&T Seabridge for the benefit of everyone. And what I will say is that they can look forward to exciting things in the future from us.
Right. Mr. Damien, can you, even as we wrap up our discussion this morning, is there anything that you want to say as it pertains to, the fact that you've been writing those letters, the organization has been reaching out to the policymakers and leaders to send that message about some of the needs of the truckers? Is there anything that you want to send or message you want to send to all leaders this morning?
Okay, I must say thanks to the Chief Secretary, because they have acknowledged our letters, and that is really commendable. It is the first in a long time for us, because we are newly minted, and we recognize that diplomacy is the correct way to go. We are using that channel. We are hoping that consistency is going to be maintained, and we do have to resort to the last resort, which is protest. We believe that communication is important, and we have seen that. I also want to thank the Minister for acknowledging our letters, and she would have corresponded by CCCing NITCO and also the port management, and right down to the CEO of the T&T Seabridge. So all in all, I am grateful and thankful to the CEO, Mr. Tracy, also the Minister, Jerlyn John, the Chief Secretary, and also all the truckers. Yes, we have the scenarios that are playing out, but we are here for all of us. It's not we are here for them versus we, but we are there for all of us, and we are really thankful for the opportunity whereby we could let the public know and also the end users know that the Sea Bridge, once we continue to do the right thing, make our voices being heard, that they are going to make the necessary implementation.
And will you say that within the last week or so that there has been an improvement in the supply of goods in Tobago for businesses, the groceries and other businesses that would have struggled during that period?
I will safely say yes. Reason being, because we have not heard those end users complaining that they have not been receiving. So our short answer, yes.
Excellent. Well, again, we want to thank you guys so much for being here this morning. I want to thank you for just giving us some perspectives from the Truckers Association Trinidad and Tobago, and just letting us know that there will continue to be that dialogue that is needed to improve the relationship as it pertains to the Sea Bridge here in Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a quick break right here and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
Easter weekend 2026. Arise, the concert, Scarborough Amphitheatre will never be the same. I'm looking forward to fellowshipping with you guys in praise and worship, and I know a couple of my brothers will be there as well. Big up, blessed, Bijon, Fahrenheit. Arise, we going down in the war room. We going down in the war room.
Arise!
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
In a world where our health defines our future and the Caribbean stands on the front lines of climate change, rising NCDs and global challenges, knowledge becomes our greatest defense. Caribbean Medical TV is your guide on the journey to wellness and insight, featuring our region's own doctors, nurses, climate specialists and medical institutions. From physical well-being to the emotional and mental balance we all deserve. Caribbean Medical TV empowers you because building a healthier future isn't just a regional goal, it's a global responsibility. In the Caribbean, vitality isn't just a goal, it's a way of living. Connect with the region through knowledge, hope, and the power of Caribbean resilience on Caribbean Medical TV, where awareness becomes power. Join the conversation, join the movement. Be viewing Season 4 of Caribbean Medical TV right here on this station.
Tobago. It's Carnival. The Vibe. The event space, formerly known as Shade. For the Court Tobago. Says, let's celebrate Carnival. Bring your coolers every Friday and Saturday. Starting from Friday the 30th of January till Carnival week. And pay $50 at the door with your cooler all night. No ice, no chase out. Allowed. Top DJ and artists passing through. Every Friday and Saturday. To pre-book your cabanas, call 369-6414 and 394-3612. Or email iwamg@gmail.com. And this promotion is going on until Easter. Gates open at 9 p.m. It's rum. It's bacchanal. Bring your coolers and come.
Been down this road before. All that left is rum and bacchanal. This is carnival.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we jump straight into our conversation. I have the privilege of chatting with author Joel Wendell Furtick. And this morning we're talking about his book. His book this morning, we're looking at an honest, emotional, self-reflective type of art. His background is in poetry. He has developed a voice that speaks candidly about love, loss, growth, and the difficult decisions that shape personal evolution. This morning, in his recent book, The Explicit Art of Walking Away, he presents a quite thought-provoking piece of work that explores the power of letting go of people, the situations and patterns that no longer serves one's well-being. Good morning again and welcome.
Thanks for that very eloquent introduction.
Right, and when we look at the type of art that you have poured out into your writing, it's definitely a bit of a self-reflective work, but from an observationist perspective of life, of emotion, of grief, of, you know, just handling one's overall emotions. Tell us this morning a bit about this particular writing, The Explicit Art of Walking Away.
Well, this particular book, this will be my 8th publication. My core writing is basically poetry. I wanted to write this book. Well, actually, I did not start it off with the intention to write this book. I was going through something personal, and I decided to put pen to paper. And during the process, I realized that it was helping me to mature and to grow. So I decided to make a book out of it. So the book is basically have a lot of reflective prose in it. Poetry is the core element, but there's a lot of self-expressions of my own personal experiences, and of course experiences of other people's what they will have gone through as well too. And I decided to make a book out of it. And at its core, it's really the art of walking away is finding the strength to leave, or if there's some kind of merit in also staying as well. But there's an art in doing so.
Understood. And, you talk about, this principle being applied to situations, relationships, and just environments on a whole. Tell us about some of the elements that are touched on in the book.
Oh, yes. So, of course, there's love, there's heartbreak, there's grief. They have a lot of elements of grief with it, because walking away, you have to go through a particular process to reach that stage.
Right.
There's courage. So there's a lot of elements, emotional elements at its core. Yeah.
Right. And when you write pieces like this that tend to resonate with a number of persons who read it, it would have taken a lot from you to really sit and observe, as you said, some other persons, as well as observing your own emotions and being self-aware. How important is that level of self-awareness for persons who are going through a period of loss or feeling like they have to walk away from situations for their own good?
That's a very interesting question. So what happens is that there is a process, and writing this book has been very, I will say, cathartic for me. It elements of writing has been also a wound and a remedy, because in writing and exposing your emotions and becoming vulnerable, it takes a lot out of you. Of course, during that process, the level of self-awareness that you have to have comes with a lot of maturity. Maturity and growth is important in reaching that particular stage, in deciding to walk away or to stay in that situation. So it takes a lot of growth and maturity. And I had written this book about 3 years or 4 years ago, and I put it down because I was focusing on another project. And I decided to revisit this book once again, because I believe that I had grown more during that time period. So I put more elements into it in terms of my experiences that I would have encountered. So yes, it took a lot of self-awareness, growth, and maturity for me to actually finish this book and to make it available now to the public.
Okay. You indicated that you are a self-published author. Explain to our viewers what that means.
Well, self-publishing means that you do everything yourself. Instead of going through the traditional route of going through a publisher and letting them edit and do all this stuff for you, I basically I'm like the captain to cook and chief bottle washer.
Right.
I basically do everything except the minor editing. I will, of course, let someone proofread the work before I actually publish it. And of course, I don't do the book cover, but I outsource the book cover. Of course, I come up with the idea for the image, but I let someone do the book cover.
Right.
Yeah.
And Mr. Frederick, can you tell us a bit about how the reaction has been from persons around you with this book that you have written? What area were you in before writing this book? Were you always into the arts and poetry and music, and so it was a seamless transition? Or was it like, oh wow, Joel, you're writing books now? Tell us a bit about it. Is this even your first writing?
All right, to answer the first question, the responses from this book has been mixed. Of course, you'll get people who might like it, and then someone have their own spin, because not everybody will agree with certain elements in the book, of course, because it's a lot of personal confessions as well.
Wow.
And it's written from my own perspective. Of course, I will have written very curiously through other people's experiences as well, but it's a very personal book. And the responses, yes, they have been mixed. I, of course, was writing since I was a child. And during the COVID period, 2020, of course, I had a lot of time on my hands, like everybody had. I was just writing. And my wife said, well, you wouldn't be writing. Why don't you write a book? So ping, idea went off in my head. So I decided, okay, I'm going to put pen to paper and I decided to publish my first book in 2020 that was called, I can't remember the name of the book. It was so much. Caffeinated Whispers, yeah, that's the name of the book. And then about 3 or 4 months afterwards, I published my second book called Butterfly and a Purple Moon. So I have always been writing, but never really decided to publish or put anything out for the public. Incidentally, my stepfather, who's no longer with us, he has been deceased, Clifford Izama, he will have been a poet in his own right, and he died becoming unpublished. So I decided, unconsciously, that I did not want his story just to die with him. So it was my intention to continue writing as a homage to him, so his work will live on.
And so that your surname will also, his name, you guys share the same?
No, unfortunately, no.
Okay.
I still remain with my father's name.
Understood.
Yeah.
And, you know, just tell us a bit about where persons can get a copy of the book at this moment.
Well, right now, I have a publishing date of the 19th of April, and it will be available on Amazon.com, and it also will be available on selected bookstores that have yet to approach in Trinidad. Yeah.
Understood. How important is it for persons to go out and take their time to support local authors?
Well, it's very important. I'm glad you asked that question because sometimes there is undiscovered geniuses in some people who have not made their work available to the public. And it's important that we, pick the low-hanging fruit instead of going out to international authors or international creatives. We have a lot of talented people in Trinidad and Tobago, and sometimes our work goes undiscovered and unnoticed because, sometimes we don't appreciate our very own. So it's very important for us. There's only sometimes when we blow up, then somebody want to jump on the bandwagon or jump on the train and say, hey, sometimes it takes a lot. Even doing this is of course a way to promote your work as well and to make yourself be known, because you could write the best book in the world if you are not known, or if you're not making yourself available to the public, no one will get an idea of how great you could be or how good your work is. So it's important that people support local artists.
Understood. Have you joined any of the local clubs, association for local authors in Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes, actually, my Facebook...
I think that's the Bocas Club as well.
Yes. Incidentally, this year will be my 3rd appearance on Bocas Listfest.
Yeah.
There's a segment called New Voices, where I'll be showcasing excerpts from my present book. And of course, I've appeared in 2 years prior, because every year I intend to publish a book. So those 2 years prior, I will have read from my previous published works.
So is this what you do full-time or part-time?
I would like to do it full-time.
All right.
I am employed otherwise, but I would like to do it full-time. But what I'm doing right now is trying to build that foundation, so when I actually retire from my present job, I could have a seamless flow into this second career.
Understood.
Yeah.
And have you made those connections here on the island of Tobago, getting persons involved, connecting with some of the Tobago authors, and having that network on the island?
Of course. As a matter of fact, I have 2 persons who a matter of fact, one person that I'm helping write a book right now who lives on the island. I don't know if she might like me to call her name out because she's so reserved, but I'm helping her create her book right now.
Right.
And then of course I'm involved in different Facebook groups that there's a lot of authors in Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
Yeah. One of them, incidentally, she mightn't be so happy, but Latoya Roberts.
Right.
She's one of the authors
she's fine.
I liaise with. Yeah.
We have chatted with Latoya here.
Yeah.
On her last 2 publications, actually, she's been here and discussing them with us. I believe the first one was a collection of poems, and then she recently had another book.
As the titles.
Yes, as the title is about sustainability and stuff like that. And so it's important for persons to know that right here in Tobago, there are those persons who have become self-published authors and even regular, traditionally published authors. Can you tell us a bit about, the motivation or some of the challenges that authors face when it comes to being able to put their work out there, going from having several journals? When I talk about actually piles of journals to moving towards getting the courage, the encouragement, the motivation, pushing past the fear to get to a pace of really saying, okay, I'm going to publish this.
I'm glad you mentioned courage and fear, because that is the determining factor or the motivating factor for most of us, because sometimes we don't probably appreciate how good our work is, or we might be a little perceptive as to how it might be accepted in the wider public. So sometimes because to me most authors or creatives are very introverted, because most of the time we write to ourselves. So for me personally, just doing this was hard because I had to come out of my shell, and to make yourself seen and be known now. Because of course I said, if you don't make yourself known, no one will know about your work. So it's about coming out of your comfort zone, making yourself uncomfortable, and to becoming the person that you could be, the best that you could be. Because I come with this idea as well, that we all have to die. And what is the sense we are being fear, we have fear, we don't have any courage, and we have to die sometime. So do what you have to do with the time that God gave you, and if you have a talent, let it be known, because sometimes somebody might, even if you just touch one person, then your journey would not be in vain. At least you reach out. God gave you a talent, and you don't bury your talent in the sand unless he is a gardener. That's how I look at it.
Well, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back as we wrap up our conversation right here on Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
Presents Laugh and Live this Good Friday, 7 p.m. It's non-stop laughter at Birchwood Legacy Park, Lowlands. Special guest from Jamaica, Mr. Funny himself, Owen Blacker Ellis. From Trinidad, Rising Comics, Alan the Entertainer, and Son. And from Tobago, amateur comic, Bishop Terence Baines. Listen, this is a laughing matter. Get your tickets now at Den's Electronics, 2nd floor, Port Mall, Scarborough. An Island e-tickets, or call 685-1988. At the door, you will pay more. It's gonna be a family affair. Laughter is good for the soul, whether you're young or you're old. So get your tickets now. You can't afford to miss it. Add some laughter to your Easter.
Arise!
Yo, I don't know the thing critical and crucial. This Friday night blazing the fast usual. And on this Easter weekend, I'm going to be there for Arise at our beautiful twin Isle of Tobago. So looking forward to seeing you there. And remember, I fed up at the captivity, fed up at the lockdown. I find it's time to lose bear. The imprisonment got to stop now. Critical and crucial. See you there.
Arise!
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Hair goals, we've got 'em. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here. Invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. With the most expansive network in the region, Tier 1 connectivity, 24/7 monitoring, and infrastructure built to endure even the most hurricane-prone zones. We're not just building a future-ready platform, we're proving that trust is earned through action, consistency, and care. We're evolving beyond connectivity. We're expanding our smart solutions, data center access, and cybersecurity services. All backed by local expertise, dedicated support, and a business continuity you can count on. And this is just the beginning. Introducing Liberty Business, a unified B2B brand built for the region and committed to you. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
To Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up our conversation this morning, I have been chatting with author of The Art of Walking Away, Mr. Joel Frederick, who this morning will be giving us a quick excerpt from his book. All right, let's go.
Sure. Forget what the optimists say. Pain forces evolution. One cannot casually pass through fire without the possibility of getting burned, or at least without carrying the scent of smoke. A broken heart undoubtedly changes us. Only a fool fails to realize that fire does more than burn. It molds, reshapes, and reforms. Perhaps that is why so many of us approach love with caution. Yes, pain changes us, but we still have a choice in how we transform. We can choose bitterness and resentment, or we can embrace the healed, happier version of ourselves. waiting on the other side. Both paths require strength. It does not always take much courage to be negative. Emotional immaturity comes easily to us. In fact, reacting with anger or bitterness often becomes our instinctive defense mechanism. But the strength required to transform pain into kindness demands humility and profound clarity. It requires growth, but more importantly, it requires a conscious decision not to allow the pain of a broken heart to permanently disfigure who we are.
Excellent, excellent. And I guess that one deserves some clicks instead of some
yes.
right?
Yes.
Well, finally, as we conclude this morning, remind our viewers when and where they can access the book or just get into contact with you and connect on whatever platforms you're available on.
Sure. So I'm on TikTok every day under the moniker Poetry on Purpose. I am also on Instagram, under the same moniker. I am on Facebook under my name, Joel W. Frederick. And I have a publishing date on the 19th of April. I'm trying to keep that date. So hopefully on that particular date, it will be available on Amazon.com.
Right, and so there will be a rollout on social media. So we'd be sure to get the link of where we can purchase the book.
Of course.
There's the e-book and the physical copy.
I'm not working on the e-book right now. I'm working on the paperback version and the hard copy that I have before me.
Excellent. So you can show our audience what that looks like.
Yeah. So this is the book.
All right. Yes. Excellent. Well, we look forward to the success of your launch for the explicit art, not just the art, but the explicit art of walking away. And we hope that you have a lot of sales and all the good things that come with having a good or successful book launch.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a blessed day.
Tobago Updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand